Alright guys, welcome back. I've been working on a few things. I'm calling this a smart tent project. Basically, I just want to have a wired tent with, basically plug and play USB connections throughout it, where when I set it up, it's already pre-wired, and I have a few boxes and power boxes and things that I've been working on that I just made myself, and where I can go ahead and have portable power, set the tent up, and basically immediately it's all plug and play into my box, and then from laying down here on the pad, my wife and I can just sit here and have power throughout the tent. So come along with us. Let me show you what I've been working on. Front view looking into the tent. I just bought a new pop-up tent. I've been seeing a lot of reviews about them that were pretty positive, and we plan on doing a lot of camping here coming up soon, as Okinawa is finally getting cooler. So I didn't really want the hassle of the whole just make the campsite and tear it all down. A lot of times, the weather can change rapidly here. I didn't want to get everything wet if at all possible. But basically, you take it out of the bag and it's just spring loaded with self-contained poles that the whole thing just pops right open, and you just stake it down, and honestly, that's very true. It literally does that in like 10 seconds or less. It's ready to unzip the doors and go inside of it. And so another thing, I wanted a tent with a vestibule that was actually completely closed off with a door, and where I can reach for items from inside the tent without someone seeing me, like an exposed opening out in the front like so many tents have. Another thing was I wanted to be able to secure my gear at night into the vestibule and be able to zip everything nice and shut and keep it dry and out of the rain if that were to happen. So I want to take a minute here and show you my solar panel that I made. It's flexible solars. I bought 10 of them. Each one came separately. I actually had to wire all of them together. So I went ahead and basically they're 2 volts each, and I have 10 of them, so there's a max output of 20 volts, and which they actually pull about 19.4. It's really pretty close in the direct sun. So I just wired them together, and inside of this box you can see the lights on in there. This is what's called a buck module, and then I put just a USB on the end of it. So basically, what the buck module does, it's got basically like a cathodic protection. It reduced the voltage down to 5 volts. So you can put anywhere from about 7 to 24 volts input, and it reduces it down to 5. And the purpose of this was I wanted to be able to use my solar panel to charge my main battery power supply. So I made this little baby box. This actual plastic is a piece of a old Tupperware container, and it's just wood with super glue, and I got a magnet. So the solar panel is actually on a little wood case there that collapses and it magnets itself together. So anyway, super simple here. I got some little air ports, if you can see on the side of the USB. That way if it gets a little warm in there, it's got a place for the air to go in and out and kind of keep it a little bit cool. So anyway, so I'll go ahead and show you guys. It's evening sun now, so we're not pulling a full voltage, but I'm gonna go ahead and I basically have a USB with just cut wires here, positive, negative. I'm going to go ahead and I'll plug this in and just demonstrate the power of this. So let's plug that in, and then out here I got a little multimeter. I'll show you guys here. Let me just hold the wires. So it does pretty good, actually. I mean, it's true. So right there, I don't know if you can see this. We're looking at 5.15 volts. All right, when I filmed my last segment on the solar panel, I actually ran out of SD card and just half the video didn't get filmed. So as I'm playing it all back, I got it squared away. So here it is to finish up what I was talking about. On the back here of the panel, you can see, it's basically wired in parallel, so you just add the volts. It's positive and negative all the way around. And I did all this myself. So I didn't talk about the amps either. In direct sunlight, this array of panels can produce about 1.5 amps, so which is perfect. So, you know, most cell phones and things like that require at least 1 amp, and that's exactly what I needed. So on my the booster box here, you know, it's kind of hard to see, so I just wanted to show you guys the actual I got a visitor, got a cat coming up on me. Move. So this right here is it's basically a micro rectifier, and you can put, in this case I got about 20 volts of the solar panel coming into it, and the output is 5 volts, and it can produce a max of 3 amps, but you know, that's max. I wouldn't recommend that. It'll get hot, but for 1.5 to 2 amp load pulling on it, absolutely no problem. Can charge a cell phone with this, you know, just precisely. So it's works really well. It's got a little baby LED on it to tell you that's got a power. So, you know, this is what it looks like. And again, I got this from Amazon. It's just very inexpensive. So I'm probably going to put like some felt material or something on the back here. I'll just glue it down so it protects the wires and I don't end up scratching my tent or the wire getting snagged on something and pulling itself apart. But anyway, that's the solar panel. There it is. And you can see they're nice and flexible. They're soft. So I'm really impressed with this. Again, it's a fun little project to build, and they work extremely well. So overall, I'm happy with exactly what it does, and it fits my needs to what I need it for. And I guess that's it for the solar panel. The first thing I want to talk about is this is my little portable light box. It's basically a repurposed flashlight that was broken, and it's a 4.5 volt LED. So basically, I'll show you guys the lid. It's just a battery to hold it down. It just pops on down like that, and it stays put. It's not going to come off. I actually have to put quite a bit of force on it to get it to come off. But anyway, so I'll use this this wooden half of a chopstick here as my pointer. So basically, a couple things I want to show you guys. It serves two purposes. Coming in, I got a USB female in that I made myself. I don't know if you can see down in there, but I got a circuit board with it all wired up, and from there, what's going to power all of this is actually this right here, 16,000 milliamp tough tested battery. It's got two USBs. One on the top right here is 5 volts at 2.4 amps. This one's 5 volts at 2 amps. So it's pretty tough battery. And one thing that I needed more than just 5 volts. I actually need 12 volts in here. And so without using a car battery or something like that, I went ahead and got this right here is a DC to DC booster. I don't know if you can see that little electronic device in there with the blue box. That little blue box is a potentiometer, and basically you can have anywhere from 2 volts coming in all the way up to 24 volts coming in, and this thing will boost it up whatever your input is in that range, and it could boost it all the way up to 28 volts on the output. So I have it actually throttled down though with the potentiometer. You can go a little bit down with it. So remember, I have 5 volts coming in from my tough tested battery, and on here I needed to step down just a little bit to the LED so it wouldn't get hot or explode or catch fire. And again, talking about LEDs, you guys be very careful. They can explode and catch fire in a minute if you put too much voltage on them. So using the tough tested battery coming in, I have a 150 ohm resistor right here that will basically it kind of throttles down the power down to a voltage that is acceptable for the LED, so it doesn't get hot, and it's just right. 150 ohm resistor, it chops it down just to the right amount where I can run it all night and it's not going to get hot in this box and make a fire. So also, I just went ahead and I added in a 9-volt battery just because, for backup. So if I'm ever getting low on my main power supply, the 9-volt battery, it goes through this switch right here. And then right here I have a 330 ohm resistor. The 9-volt battery will actually almost explode the light. It really could cause a fire, so I had to crank up the ohms and go with a 330 ohm resistor to throttle the power down basically so it doesn't get too hot. And as you can see, this is just run off the battery. It's perfect, bright. And so this light, this box right here, basically, so as you guys know, as I showed you, it's gonna go up here, right here on this hook. And whenever you're exiting the tent, you can just take off the USB right there, and then now you have a portable flashlight that you can walk out with. So it serves two purposes, and I really like it. So I got to put an eye bolt right here on the back. I don't want it to shine right in my face when we're in the bed. I want it to kind of hang down like this and shine towards the floor, like by our feet, so I'm not, you know, getting blinded at night with it. But anyway, it's a fun little project to build, and you know, I might have $10, maybe $15 total in this. It's really really inexpensive, and you know, it was really a fun little project to build. So moving on, I already talked about that. So this is my main power box that I built. So we'll get into this. Basically, I got 4. I bought this. It was one coming in, one coming out that splits off into 4 USBs out. This is a repurposed old LED light that I've had for probably 7 or 8 years. The light was actually broken and cracked. The battery terminals were rusted. It didn't work, but the light actually worked. So I added in a couple switches here. These are just standard 12-volt switches, but you know, low voltage, anything, they'll work for anything basically, low voltage. On this side here, I had an old broken laptop, and I went ahead and put in just a small little 5-volt fan right here that I took apart the laptop and took it out. So back here, another 2 USBs out. This one right here is 5 volts out, and this one's actually 12 volts out. And what I wanted 12 volts for is for this computer fan right here. 4-inch computer fan that's actually 12 volts at 0.4 amp. So I needed enough power to run it at max speed basically. It'll run on 5 volts, you know, no problem, but it's not going to be really that high of a speed. It's not going to move the volume of air that I wanted. So so we'll get into this box. So on the back, basically, well, I'll show you how the battery will just, you know, basically connect the 2 wires right here. The white wire is for the 4 USBs out on the front, and the black wire goes in through switches, and it actually comes out to these on the back here that can give me up to 12 volt power. So again, this battery is only 5 volts, but I have 12 volts coming out, so we'll get into this right here. I really enjoyed building this. Whole bunch of stuff going on in here. So basically, you can see down in here, I have the 4 LEDs. They just split off. It's just super glued down on there. Nothing too fancy. You can see the I think it's a 21 LED light that I have here. Basically, that one is that one's wired to handle just 5 volts into it. And I have another resistor coming into the LED, because those actually did get hot, and I was worried about fire again, just off the tough tested power supply. So I ended up putting a 150 ohm resistor on these lights right here. The resistor's down here. It's down here into the wiring, but that throttled the power down just enough to where I get good lighting, but it doesn't get hot. And you can see it's just super glued in, nothing fancy. Again, this little black box here has a switch on it. This holds two AA batteries that are also wired to the light, to the LEDs, where if my main power supply is getting low and I want to conserve power for like charging my cell phone or something, then I can go ahead and just battery back up with these two AA's here. You know, and I can get one night of use, probably 1 or 2 nights out of this thing, no problem. You know, probably 6 hours maybe of lighting. And that's just a backup. All right, moving on. So basically this top switch right here is my 12 volt switch. That's wired after the DC to DC booster right here. So it converts 5 volts, boosted up to 12. That comes out to this USB right here. And the bottom switch on the front, the bottom one is basically standard 5 volts, and that one just comes out to here. Give me an extra USB right here. That will go to my actual light, my single LED light, so I keep that at 5. It's not going to get hot. And back here you can see I got old Sony computer fan. I just repurposed it. It really just supplies a perfect amount of air into the box. It keeps everything nice and cool, so I really like it. And that's basically it. That's my box. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook everything up here and show you guys actually working in action. Stand by. So just show you, just say I'm sitting right here laying down on my pad. It's getting tucked in for the night per se, and I want a light. I got fans. I got my other light here. So everything's connected. And so batteries there. Got power supplied. So if I hit this switch right here, this is going to automatically turn on the fan, which the fan is on now. And that's a full 12 volts coming out of it too. So it's spinning at max speed. So, and then this one here, I have a light here, and then this one right here, if I turn this on, this is going to supply power to my light here, which this is on right now, as you can see. So not a problem there. Everything's working great. And so that was exactly what I wanted, to just be able to hang out here, lying in bed. If I got to get up for anything, or in the middle of the night I hear something, I need to turn on some lights, I need to turn on a fan if I get too hot. I just want to lay down and have power. So there it is. There's the box. So everything works really well. And like I said, that one 16,000 milliamp hour battery, I can literally run this light, the reading light in the front, the fan, 12 volts, and I can charge 4 different things right there, and it will power all of it. It's really, really amazing. So I actually did try, not all of it, but I did try a cell phone here, GoPro here, and my gimbal here, and actually everything was charging, and everything was lit up and on. So I'm just really impressed with how strong this battery is. And that's it. Can't wait to get out there and actually use it in the woods and see if it's gonna hold up to the test. So I hope everybody's still, you know, watching me all the way till the end. If not, that's all right. I know I can be quite boring when I'm talking. That's why I don't normally talk too much, but I really appreciate you sticking with me, watching this one, and I can't wait to show you guys a good video from the woods, you know, where I can actually put everything to the test. So with that, we've been living in some crazy times. I still can't go out and film like I want to, but hopefully things will change somewhat soon. I'm always positive and try to just live that way in every way. So with that, I hope you guys stay safe. Thanks for watching me again, and hopefully I can be bringing you guys a video from the woods testing out everything. So you guys take it easy. Until next time, I'll see you around.